What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is your review for Power Book 2 Season 1. Hopefully the last season, episode 10. I'm assuming this is the finale, okay? The only good news I had is that it looks like Kanan is going to start this summer, and that looks like it's going to actually be pretty damn good. But this was a fail. I'm sorry, this was a fail. Let me go and get through this final review, honey. So we start this episode off with Mary J. Blige meeting up with Rico, the guy that, shot her son, shot up the club. And it looks like there was some sort of broker deal between Rico and Mary J. Blige's husband where they were going to pay him and it was going to be everything, bygones was going to be bygones. Mary J. Blige ends up killing him and basically saying, like, you shot my son. You wasn't gonna walk away from this that easy, and it is what it is. Now, what we find out later on in the episode is her husband is telling her, like, you were stupid for doing that. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes out here in the streets, it is what it is, and people become casualties. And yes, our son got shot, but I have brokered this deal, and killing him ain't gonna do nothing but bring more heat on an already heated situation. Whatever. So that was that. Then we have Kane burying the body of the detective that he killed, which again was ill-advised and stupid. Now, why he waited until he had packaged up the body, wrapped the body up in plastic, had it attached to concrete blocks before he decided, oh, maybe I should turn the cell phone off, because he's a police detective and the first thing they're gonna do is ping his damn cell phone. So he takes the phone out, sees that it's Monet calling. Now, this is probably his burner phone, so the reality is it probably ain't his real cell phone. But it's neither here nor there, you dummy. Like, murder a kid 101. Like, at this day and age, how do you not know to turn the cell phone off? You're going to find the exact location of where you are putting the damn body, because that's the last place the cell phone is. Whatever. Moving on. So then we have Tariq running across campus again in a maroon and pink suit to get to class because he's late as usual. He gets to class, they cancel class because they still doing interviews of kids who were there and were not there at the situation. Lauren offers to go to court with Tariq. Tariq was like, nah, I got to do this on my own. Thanks, but no thanks. Peace. Have a good life. Moving on. They end up interviewing, so Jabari and Carrie, and I don't know what outfit that was that Carrie had on. What in the Soul Train dance line outfit did Carrie have on? No college professor goes to work like that. Like, come on, y'all. Like, stop it. Moving on. They end up interviewing Drew's boyfriend, the basketball player on the team, and he tells the story about the night of Zeke getting shot in the leg. Now, I don't understand why any of them thought that was an appropriate conversation to have when we doing an investigation on the pool. I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't there. I don't know nothing. I don't know why you even talking to them about, like. Then he says that Drew was there, and she keeps making eyes at him like, like, don't say nothing. So then he recants, like, oh, I don't know, Drew might have been there a different night. Oh, I don't know. Because, of course, they didn't want to connect Drew's cousin with Zeke. And then Zeke shows up. They go in the office, and Zeke confronts her about, why did you go to the police? Like, what are you talking about? Why would you go to the police? Like, I came to you. I told you to give me some time to think about it. But you didn't went to the police. You got everybody interviewing my teammates. Why Zeke give a damn? Well, I know he cares because she made a big deal about them being able to connect him and his family to the Tejadas. Like, I get why he was upset. But at the end of the day, you have an alibi, and so does your whole damn team. So, but being connected to a murder, it ain't a good look. Let's be clear. So Kane goes to visit Drew in the hospital, and Drew is like, why are you here? Now, it looks like Drew got shot, his arm is in a sling, whatever. He was begging for morphine. So I guess if this does come back next season, he gonna be addicted to pain pills, child, whatever. Kane goes to visit him, and he was just like, I don't know why you here. Like, why are you here? And he was like, what are you talking about? You acting like, this is all my fault. This is about Tariq. And Drew was like, see, this is the problem. Everything with you was about Tariq. Like, this wasn't about Tariq. Tariq was never our issue. But here's the thing. I found it interesting later on in the episode, Mary J. Blige, listen, I'm just jumping all over the place, okay? Mary J. Blige was having a conversation with somebody. I'll tell you who that person was later. We ain't got there yet. And she was just basically like, I changed my whole operation around Tariq because of his promises. Now, that's the one thing I do agree with Kane on. Why the fuck would you change your whole business that you've been running for however many years, that your husband been in jail, and before that your husband was running? You change your whole business plan around a 17-year-old kid and his promises? That was stupid. Now, that was stupid. And I do agree with Kane on that one, that she did give Tariq way too much too soon without having to really prove himself or anything like that. Like, I absolutely agree with that one. And he ends up letting Drew know that he killed the detective, the police detective. He ain't mean to. He slipped up on it, but he did end up telling him that. And so Drew was like, see, that's like, again, that's what you're talking about. Now, mind you, Mary J. Blige is running all around town looking for the police detective because he's supposed to be helping her, I guess, take care of the situation with Rico, so a blowback doesn't come back on them about now that Rico is dead type of situation. Although, if the fact that his delivery driver came back on y'all dead and he automatically assumed that y'all had something to do with it, I don't know why y'all wouldn't think that his people would connect. Whatever. Anyway. We're in court. They called Tariq to the stand. So Saxe starts talking to Tariq, and he asks Tariq, have you ever seen your dad beat up your mother? And he was like, nah, not until it came up in court. You know, okay, cool. Then he asked Tariq about the night at Truth. And he was like, well, I was there earlier, you know, then I left. He was like, what time did you leave? Oh, I'm not sure, about 10, 11, whatever. And he was like, well, didn't you go back? And he was like, no, I didn't go back, but I did see you there with a gun. If you didn't go back, how'd you see him with a gun, Tariq? Then he proceeds to expose how, now mind you, Saxe's niece, aka Pink Hair, is in the courtroom. Why is she there? Have no idea. Because up until that point, you don't know that Tariq knows who you are. You don't know that Tariq followed you to court. So why would you be in the courtroom? They don't need you there. There was no purpose for you to be there. Neither here nor there. She was there. Tamika was also there because she had coached, you know, Tariq on what to say and what not to say. So then Tariq makes a big deal about the fact that this tape, Saxe only pulled me to the stand because the tape exists of some things I said in front of my dad's grave, but I was drunk that night. I didn't know anything. Now, he went from being drunk out of his mind to somebody must have put something in my drink to who would have done that, Saxe? Who followed me? How did you know to follow me that night? Who put something in my drink? And, of course, Saxe is like, what? Now, what doesn't make sense to me is all that should have just been thrown out. That ain't had nothing to do with what he asked you. All he had to do was declare you a hostile witness and have all that shit thrown out. Now, I ain't go to nobody's law school, okay? But it seems to me like that was way too easy for Tariq to be able to change the trajectory of the conversation. And then, of course, now the judge is like, yeah, I want to know too. Like, what this about? What we talking about? I want to know. So they end up going into the judge's chambers. And Mr. DNC comes in, kicks the damn judge out of her own damn chambers, threatens to demote her, and kicks her out of her own chambers. And I'm not going through all the ins and outs, child. They end up making a damn deal, okay? Because Davis looks guilty. Everybody looks guilty at this point. So they end up offering to Tasha a deal. If she agrees to go into witness protection and testify against Tommy Egan, whatever, then basically she walks free. That's it. That's a wrap. And she still don't want to take the deal. So she tells Tariq, don't worry, we're going to run. We're not going into no witness protection. I'm not testifying against Tommy. We're going to run. Tasha gets out of jail. Davis makes her give this press conference. She tells Tariq, go pack up your stuff and let's go. Tariq was like, what? I ain't leaving school. I'm good. You go. You take baby, you take whoever, you going out of there. Now, we see her mama and Yasmin there for the first time since episode 2, right? And Next thing you know, we see Tasha um going to meet with Mary J. Blige, child. So she go to meet with Mary J. Blige and tell Mary J. Blige, ask me whatever you need me to do to buy my son. I know he owe you some money. I'll buy him out. And that's when Mary J. Blige had this whole conversation about, well, I changed my whole business plan around your son and the promises that he made me about what he was going to do. Again, don't know why you did that around a 17-year-old child, but okay, whatever. Then, next thing you know, the bar starts getting shot up. Her bodyguard gets shot. Now Tasha is in the corner hovering like she don't know what the deal is and she don't know how the streets work. Girl, if you don't pick up, ask Mary J. Blige for a gun and start shooting, and y'all worry about the who, the what, the where later. She goes outside just in enough time to see the car pulling off, and who is it? It's Tommy's damn, was it a Stingray he was driving? It was Tommy's car. So she immediately calls Tariq and was like, yo, Tommy's back. He must have found me. He followed me. He's out to get me. We got to leave. We got to leave now. Like, just we got to go. Now, while this is going on, Pink Head Girl goes up to talk to Braden and basically warns Braden that Tariq isn't who you think he is. Tariq is more dangerous than you thought he was. Boom, boom, bye-bye, whatever. Listen, y'all, I'm just trying to get through this. Zeke went to go talk to Tariq. Now, again, he's talking to Tariq. They kept Zeke away from the business, right? So how does Zeke know that Tariq is in a whole full-on relationship with his family and selling drugs? How does Zeke know that? So he tells them about what's going on with the police and how he's looking for Drew. Why ain't nobody tell him Drew got shot? He don't know Drew in the hospital. He don't know Drew got shot. They don't know nothing. Okay. And so he says, I really wish you would let my family alone like I asked you to, because of course it's Tariq's fault. Because it's all Tariq's fault. So then Tariq goes to talk to Diana, and she gives him the up and up on what's going on. And he lets, her know about Zeke and what's going on campus. And they can't find the police detective. They still looking for the police detective. Can't find him. Now, mind you, Drew knows that he's dead because Kane told him that he killed him. But you ain't told your mama yet. You ain't told nobody. You just gonna let them keep looking for him, running around town, calling his cell phone 50 times. You ain't gonna say nothing. Tariq and Braden have a conversation. Braden is like, yo, I know you don't need the money for your mom's lawyer anymore, but listen, we got this campus on lock. I want to keep selling the drugs. What's good? And, Tariq was kind of like, well, I can hand the business over to you. Because remember, him and his mom was supposed to be making a run for it. So he was like, I can turn the businesses over to you. I give you all the information of who's the who and the what's what, and you do what you got to do. Then we see Tariq meeting up with Jabari. Jabari is actually coming halfway clean and telling Tariq, listen, I want to write a book about your life. I just need your permission. I just think it'd be a great story. And Tariq was like, well, how you gonna do that? And so he says, listen, I know you selling drugs on campus. And of course, Tariq pulled on that, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. You know how he does. And Jabari was like, listen, cut through that bullshit. You lying. I know you lying. I know you selling drugs. I know you got the whole thing on lock. Listen, just let me write your story. I'll even share my advance with you. And Tariq was like, really? He said, well, I tell you what. He was like, well, listen, I ain't interested in that. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's a wrap. Like, don't put me in that. And then I get to see Laz Alonso again. That was the best part of this episode. Okay. But anyway, they end up, he gives Tariq his number, and they, and that's that, whatever. So, Tariq is packing up, and, he's, Tasha comes up on campus. Of course, she's frantic, and that's when she has the conversation with him about, let's go, or whatever. And Tariq was like, listen, let me handle it. She tells him about Tommy being back and all of that. And Tariq was like, listen, let me handle it, right? Let me figure it out. I'll get back to you. And he gives her a burner, whatever. Next thing you know, Tariq done found Tommy. Now, everybody looking for Tommy. Everybody looking for Tommy. But Tariq found him. And where did Tariq find him? Where Cash is staying. How the fuck would Tariq know where Cash is staying? And how would you just get that lucky that that's where you find Tommy? And why we ain't heard from 2-Bit this whole episode? You never gave 2-Bit his money last episode, did you? I don't remember that part if it happened. But he ain't texting no more? He ain't looking for you either? So, Tariq calls Jabari and says, listen, I'll go ahead and take that deal, but I need my advance up front. Like, I need you to give me my money up front. And so they agreed to meet up or whatever. Tahada tells Mary J. Blige, listen, you need some hitters. You just started a war. Because, of course, they don't know that the people shooting at him at the bar the second time was Tommy looking for Tasha. They think it's Rico's guys retaliating. And her husband was like, listen, that's why I told you not to kill him. And you need to go get Kanan back on the team. And she was like, hell no. She said, he the reason why all this happened. I'm not putting him back on the team. And he was like, you will put him back on the team. And that's how we gonna fix it. You know, it is what it is. So she goes to find Kane. Kane, you know, they have their back and forth. And he admits to her that, well, he didn't mean to, but he admits to her that he killed the detective. And she was like, are you serious right now? Because, again, she actually was getting ready to, because her husband told her, put him back on the team. So she was actually about to swallow her pride and put him back on the team until she found out he killed the damn police detective. And she was like, this mother, right? Tommy and Tariq have, I guess they have the big showdown that everybody been waiting for. I ain't necessarily been waiting for, but I guess that's what everybody been waiting for. And basically Tommy was like, listen, yep, that was me that shot up the bar. I found your mama, and I'm gonna keep coming until I get her. At the end of the day, she owed me. She tried to, you know, finger me in court as being Ghost Killer, and we already know who the hell killed Ghost. And she killed Lala. Like, the hell? We're not doing that. And he said, the only reason why you not dead is because I promised your daddy I wasn't going to kill you. I ain't say nothing about Tasha. So listen, y'all do whatever it is that y'all feel like y'all need to do, because I'm not going to stop coming. So him and Tariq kind of go back and forth. And then finally he says, listen, I got a deal for you that all of us can come out of this a winner. And in my mind, I'm thinking, Tommy doesn't need anything from you, Tariq. Tommy doesn't need to come out a winner. All he wants is to kill your mama. He been fine for the last however many months he been gone. He got away with the money. He got a whole new connect in L.A. He started, allegedly was starting a whole new business out on the West Coast. So all he wants is for your mama to be dead. He doesn't want anything from y'all. So he says, well, I mean, yeah, he don't want the police looking for him, but at the end of the day, if he killed Tasha, ain't nobody to testify. That is solved, right? So he lets Tariq talk him into a conversation. I mean, he gets Tariq to talk him into whatever plan that Tariq, again, all these people following behind a 17-year-old. So we see Sax, you know, getting it in with somebody from the courthouse. I don't remember if it was another lawyer or whoever, somebody down there, child. And he gets a text from Davis, basically telling him that Tasha is gonna go. You know, Tasha's going to, something with Tasha going into witness protection, and that, you know, Egan is back, and so they know that Tommy's looking for Tasha. And so he said he knows he's about to get fired. He was like, you know, this is my last night as a, you know, a U.S. attorney or whatever. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and make this happen. We're gonna get Tommy Egan. If I don't get nothing else, we're gonna get Tommy Egan. So the next day they got this whole operation going with Tasha driving around. We got, you know, the feds following her because they waiting for Tommy to come find her. And so she's driving all around town. They finally get Tommy behind her. Tommy realizes the police are following him. And he ends up going on a high-speed chase. Next thing you know, his car done blown up. But it was all just a plan. It wasn't really, he didn't really die in the car. But of course, now the police think he's dead. His mama's off the hook. He calls, Tariq calls Tommy and is like, listen, they bought it. Everything is everything. They think you dead. We good. We cool. But Tariq knowing Tommy and knowing that Tommy wasn't really ever going to stop coming for him, um, he got a whole nother plan. Anyway, I got ahead of myself. Let me get to this. So Tariq meets up with Jabari to get the money on the advance. Now, Kane ends up rolling up, and Kane thinks that Tariq is snitching. Kane thinks that Tariq is snitching and telling Jabari the whole, I guess, kit and caboodle. And he was like, see, I knew I couldn't trust you. And he ended up shooting Jabari. Now, Jabari's laying on the ground, bleeding out. And Tariq and Kane have this whole conversation about, that wasn't me. I didn't do that. I'm not snitching. That's my professor. You misunderstand. You don't know what this is going on. And they have this whole back and forth conversation about who should be what and how the business should go. And so Tariq is able to convince Kane that let him kill Jabari, that use the cop's gun because it's got the cop's bullets with his fingerprints on the bullets or whatever. Now, why would the cop have any reason to kill a college professor? We don't know, but whatever. And that basically that's going to help him get in with his family. So anyway, Tariq ends up killing Jabari. He was like, listen, you know too much about us, and I can't let you write that book. Like, I can't let you do that. And so he ends up killing Jabari. And Jabari was like, you're not a killer. This is not who you really are. He was like, no, this is who I really am. I killed my dad to protect my family. You think I wouldn't kill you? Like, the hell. Then we see Zeke and Carrie together again. Jabari sent an email saying, I know you're not sleeping with I was wrong about Tariq. We'll talk later. But she's still sleeping with Zeke, even after Mary J. Blige told her, I'll get you if you screw him over. Then we have Davis and Uncle Nancy. And Davis basically ends up, because Uncle Nancy done got fired, child. He said his brother offered him a job, the job that his brother offered him way back in episode 102. And Davis ended up offering him a job. He was like, listen, because you know the ins and the outs, you know how this whole thing go. Like, why don't you roll with it? So, next thing you know, we see Tasha at the cemetery saying goodbye. She packed up, ready to go. We see Tariq show up. Tariq is like, where everybody at? And she was like, look, it's just me and you. Yasmin, she not about this life. She's young enough that she can stay with my mom. There's no need for her to keep running around with us. We're the ones. So, let's go. Next thing you know, here comes Tommy. Tommy at the cemetery. He done followed Tariq. And he about to kill Tasha. Well, before he can kill Tasha, the FBI roll up to come and get her because Tariq done called them and told them that, there's still a threat, that her life has been threatened in this time, that she need to go now. So Tariq was like, listen, I ain't going. You going into witness protection, but I ain't going into witness protection. So, have a nice life, hit me with a burn as soon as you can, whatever. Soon as Tasha leaves, of course, they have a whole little moment, whatever. Soon as Tasha leaves, here comes Tommy from around the damn headstone. It's talking about it don't matter where you send your mother. I'm gonna find y'all. And he was like, see, I knew I couldn't trust you. Like, I knew you was gonna still come for us. Even after we made a deal, even after I helped you out. I already knew what it was. So that's why I sent her away. Now before she Tommy can do anything, here come Mary J. Blige, and she done pulled a gun on Tommy. And Tommy was like, who the fuck are you? And she, so then they had to have their whole back and forth. And Tommy was like, listen, let me warn you about him. Like, you don't know who you were getting into business with. Like, you might not want to have him around your family. You might want to have him protecting you. Like, you might not be, you don't know the kind of person that this is. And she was going to kill Tommy. And Tariq was like, nah, let him go. Like, let him go. And so she let him know. She said, the only reason why you still breathing is because of him. That's the only reason why she's still breathing is because of him. And so they let Tommy go. And then Mary J. Blige was like, so you really did kill your father, huh? And he was like, yeah. Oh, now you know who his daddy is. Now you... Okay. And he was like, yeah. And next thing you know, Diana come rolling up with somebody in the back seat. Now, I couldn't tell if that was Kane in the back seat or Drew. But one of them was in the back seat, and they all roll off into the sunset. And that's the end. That's all I got. That's all. Peace.